Is Donald Trump fit to serve as President of the United States? April 2025. President Donald J. Trump has just completed his latest annual physical exam, his first since beginning his second term in office. The result? Excellent health, says the White House. But in a political landscape filled with constant scrutiny and relentless speculation, one question remains in the public conversation. Is President Trump truly fit, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to lead the United States of America? Let's break it down. On April 11, 2025, President Trump underwent a comprehensive 5-hour physical at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. The exam was led by Dr. Sean Barbabella, who released an official summary through the White House Medical Unit. According to the report, Trump weighs 224 pounds. He stands 6 feet, 3 inches tall. His resting heart rate is 62 beats per minute. He takes 2 medications to manage cholesterol. But perhaps most notably, the president completed the Montreal Cognitive Assessment and scored a perfect 30 out of 30. Again, President Trump exhibits excellent cognitive and physical health and is fully fit to execute the duties of the Commander-in-Chief and Head of State, wrote Dr. Barbabella. Trump was also praised for his frequent victories in golf events and what the report called an active lifestyle. Though the report is largely glowing, there's one statistic that often grabs headlines: the president's body mass index, or BMI. At 6 feet 3 inches and 224 pounds, Trump's BMI is exactly 28.0, clinically considered overweight. But here's where it gets complicated. Experts from institutions like Yale Medicine have long criticized BMI as a flawed metric. It doesn't account for muscle mass, bone density, or individual body composition. And to be fair, Trump's current BMI is lower than it was in 2020, when it reached 30.5, just above the threshold for obesity. So, while overweight may be technically accurate by outdated BMI standards, it may not reflect his actual state of health. One of the most closely watched elements of any presidential health report is cognitive fitness. In 2025, just like in 2018 and 2020, Trump took the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, a standard screening for memory, attention, and executive function. He scored 30 out of 30, a perfect result. The report also confirms that Trump is within normal ranges for both depression and anxiety. And in his own words after the exam, a good heart, a good soul, a very good soul. It's worth noting that Trump voluntarily takes these cognitive tests, something not all presidents have done while in office. At 78 years old, Trump is the oldest person to be elected to a second term. And yet, his supporters point to his energy, stamina, and relentless campaign schedule as proof that age is just a number. He frequently holds multi-hour rallies, takes impromptu press questions, and plays multiple rounds of golf a week. Critics, on the other hand, argue that age alone should be a factor in assessing presidential fitness, especially in a time of global crisis, economic uncertainty, and 24/7 decision-making. Still, by all available medical data, Trump appears to be in better shape than many men his age, and in some metrics, better than when he first took office in 2017. Of course, one important question remains: can we trust these reports? Presidential health exams are not conducted by independent boards, but by the White House medical staff. While doctors like Dr. Barbabella are highly qualified, critics argue that political pressure can influence tone or disclosure. This isn't a new concern. Questions about the true health of presidents go back decades, from Franklin D. Roosevelt's heart disease to JFK's back pain and Addison's disease. But so far, Trump's medical team has gone on record repeatedly, detailing medications, test results, and even making his physicians available for questioning. That level of transparency may not silence every critic, but it certainly sets a public standard. So is President Donald Trump fit to serve as Commander-in-Chief? If we go by the data, cognitively sharp, physically active, medically monitored and cleared by professionals. His supporters say the results speak for themselves. His critics say the conversation must go beyond test scores, into character, temperament, and decision-making style. Ultimately, the question may not be one for doctors to answer, but for voters. As we move deeper into Trump's second term, America will continue to watch closely. And whether you support or oppose him, one thing is clear: the conversation about presidential fitness isn't going anywhere.